We are looking at roughly.
Welcome to the Sanborn Regional School District Budget Committee for December 17th. Let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. Can I get a motion on the minutes of December 4th?
Move to approve.
You did an amazing job with those minutes,
So
Dr. Brown.
any comment on the minutes?
Hmm.
Changes to the minutes? So all in favor?
I don't do
Thank you
anything.
so much. And I have a motion to rescind the motion approved on December 4th to recommend an FY 2027 appropriation of $41,028,910. The motion, I'll make the motion and I need a second.
Second.
So thank you so much. So we are lawfully approved as a cooperative school district, and new statute says the school board rep is ineligible to vote on motions. So we need to move to rescind the prior motion approved, and then we can have another motion. Any further discussion?
I'll move to rescind and create no.
Well, we're going to actually approve the rescind first.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
You need a second for that, don't you?
You seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So without further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you so much. And now we need a motion for a 2027 budget appropriation.
Madam Chairman, I would propose the number be 40,528,910.
And can I get a second for that?
A second.
Would you like to speak to your motion?
Oh, just very briefly, this represents a $200,000+ increase over this year's budget. And considering the record of the past unexpended fund balances, I think it will definitely be able to fit. School board members will have to sharpen their pencils a little, but that is their job.
Further discussion?
That's awfully dirty pool, Jim.
Well, I actually would like the board to pursue the major facilities improvements and special ed increases through warrant articles. Say 2 warrant articles of $250,000 each is what I would like to see. Reflecting on the December 4th discussion, I noticed there was repeated blame assigned to voters for the need for recurring ending balances of $1 million+, and several remarks were made saying that the voters refused to approve warrant articles. I just want to point out that, of course, taxpayers will be hesitant to support massive facilities improvements when our unused capacity will be increasing by 2028 to near over 40% is what I looked at. And that's when our enrollment drops below 1,000. So the facilities reorganization issue is an emergency situation. It's not even on the list of the board's goals, and the board has the responsibility to act right now, not wait till they have a superintendent hired, and present a plan to retain or repurpose our facilities. They need to have a plan that excites the voters, so they back the warrants. It's the school board's job, not the voters. And I was unhappy at our last meeting. Mr. Patillo was very dismissive of Dr. Beckett when she said the rapidly declining enrollment numbers require the budget changes to occur. And he said hers was a conveniently abstract way of looking at it. But what was his plan? Talk about vague. He said, well, changes would be needed, but maybe we can start to increase what we're losing. We have increased competition from EFAs, charters, and interdistrict open enrollment coming. Voters deserve a clear plan in the face of escalating facilities costs, not simply, we don't trust you, let us handle it. We can actually reduce our spending and ending balances. And Exhibit A was last year when we had a freeze in October 2024 on non-essential spending. It led to over 3 million in unexpended funds. And guess what? No one died, no birds fell out of the sky. And you know what? Our test scores went up. Now, I know that Shane is working on some facilities reorganization ideas. I've been meeting with community colleges in New Hampshire to see where we might have space. They might want to open up a satellite campus. They have a new programs for the trades. They have air traffic controllers program. They just started. It's in a large classroom, basically, with equipment. And we could be leasing space for those kinds of programs. We could also lease additional space to Seacoast Classical, which is expanding. And we could reorganize how we have our grades allocated across buildings. So we have increasingly unused space happening, and we don't have much time to reorganize. So stop talking about culture and morale. I'll tell you who has a low morale, the taxpayers. It's like the top two concerns among grant estaters, property taxes and school taxes, school costs. So I would be very happy to support warrant articles to help with our facilities upgrades. But I am not going to allow our school board to say, well, we need to have over 1 million or 2 million of unexpended balances, and we'll take care of, the facilities, but we're not going to do anything about giving a plan of action to justify continuing with this amount of space.
Could I respond to that, Pam?
Sure.
Weren't we fairly clear that last year's unexpended funds was an anomaly?
Yep.
Okay, so there's that. Second, I will always continue to be dismissive of ideas that aren't good. So I hope that Dr. Beckett knows that I wasn't being dismissive of her personally, just of what I continue to maintain is a conveniently abstract way of looking at the way to maintain a school system strictly based on class sizes, numbers, and cost per student. I think it is that you can make numbers say, as many people said here last time, make them say whatever you want. And I don't think that there is a very keen understanding on some of the perspective from some of the people who've given a perspective here that the way to fix the school is to simply cut funds from it. Our numbers are increasing, but they're not increasing because we cut funds. Our scores are increasing because we added funds, because we spent money on curriculum, because we spent money on teachers. Now, I'm not going to say, like I did last time, or, I didn't say last time, that we're going to sit here and just keep on spending and all the taxpayers are going to love us for it. And that there's obviously a ceiling to what we can do. I think that we reached an equitable number that passed in budget committee last time. And we were advised, I won't say by whom for the sake of public, I'm not sure if I can communicate who advised that I should be able to vote at that meeting, because it was in a more private communication that I'm not going to make public. But we were advised that the school board member was able to vote. Turns out that the school board member is not able to vote. To change the nature of the vote in an opportunistic way seems very underhanded, downright immoral, even if it is legal. And I find it absolutely disgusting.
Well, honestly,
What basically happened last meeting is you had a motion pass 5-3. It should have been 4-3 based on and it's nullified based on a clerical error. Okay. To change it now is because you have a member who isn't here it's disgusting. I find it.
I definitely was not under the impression that I understood we were revoting because of the clerical error, but I wasn't under the impression that we were once again changing the budget. I think we should stay where we were and just revote as the committee that's eligible to vote.
well, the problem with the school board member voting was not something I realized until the weekend after our meeting.
I certainly didn't mean to imply that you or somebody, whoever.
Wasn't holding back information.
Absolutely
I
not.
actually found out after the fact.
I believe that. I believe that you were acting in the best interest of what was the proper procedure when you communicated originally, and that you found out new information and communicated it accordingly. I just think what's happened since, i.e. tonight, is underhanded and dirty pool.
Well, I consider the fact that we don't have a facilities plan, and that's a mounting cost to be
have-
egregious
We have a
and
capital improvement.
completely
It
outrageous.
says we don't
and
have a facilities plan. What does that mean?
A plan to utilize our facilities efficiently, both in terms of repurposing them and in terms of a long-term plan as enrollment continues to decline and we face competition.
I wouldn't say that the school board isn't thinking about those options simply because we haven't communicated them to you.
So what are the options?
I'm
Well,
not,
I'm sure you can articulate.
of course,
That's what I'm urging you to do.
we can absolutely
And
articulate.
you can certainly increase the amount available to the district by articulating the plan and presenting a couple of warrant articles
That is an option.
to add to the reserve funds. And that's what we're urging you to do. And I do agree with that. So any further discussion?
Can I clarify something about the vote?
Yep.
I reasonably sought out some advice with the New Hampshire School Boards Association and the attorneys there in regards to the legality or the appropriateness of the vote that was taken at the meeting last week. And they advised me that while the vote by Member Patillo was not necessarily a valid vote, it does not invalidate the overall vote. So I want to clarify that the legal opinion that we received was simply that. The example that was used was, let's say I chose to vote in a Kingston election. I walk into the area, I sign up to vote saying I'm a resident, I'm not, I don't live in Kingston, and I vote. That doesn't mean if my vote is invalidated because it's an illegal vote, doesn't mean that we now have to rerun the entire election in the town. It just means that my vote is invalidated. So
Well,
the
we-
legality of the vote was something that I checked on specifically to make sure that one suggestion that they made was that
Thank
this
you.
board could note in the minutes that Mr. Patillo expressed his support for the measure and just not count his vote and record the vote as 5-2.
And I thank you for that detailed research on my behalf. I didn't see you raising your hand to help when I had an issue about regional versus a cooperative district. That fell on deaf ears. So thank you anyway for the information. And
Dr.
we've
Brown,
already
that's
voted to
inaccurate.
rescind.
That's inaccurate. No, that's
Already
inaccurate.
voted to rescind and that motion passed. So we have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion?
I just don't think it's fair to the people that were here that had the option to speak last that meeting to not, because now they're not here,
You were
not
not-
knowing that we were going to change the budget.
It was already a majority vote last time. Whether he voted or not, it was still a majority vote.
We can actually vote as many times as we'd like up until a certain point. So we could again reconsider the budget. But this is the motion we have before us tonight. So any further discussion? All in favor?
We're voting on the new
On-
motion.
The new amount. Opposed? So motion fails.
Can we verbally record that, please?
Motion fails 3-3.
Thank you. I just wasn't sure if it was quite clear for everybody.
And we'll have to have another meeting to vote on appropriation. And hopefully we'll have the missing member with us tonight. So we do have a meeting in January, but I will contact everyone so that we can actually consider another meeting date for an appropriation.
I believe you have one on the books for January 8th.
That's to plan the public hearing, but we should meet again.
I believe we should actively and very broadly notice the public that the discussion is open again so that their voices can be heard
Right.
as they were last time.
And also we have public comment. So who would like to speak tonight? No one?
Yeah. Rick Edelman, Kingston, 2 boys in the district. Speaking as a resident of Kingston, what I will say is the idea of warrant articles is almost farcical at this point. With the town, the way it is, the town budget, and everybody up in arms with the way that is a mess and hold on that budget and the inadequacies of that budget. And the talk about warrant articles that they pass in the future trying to fund these facilities with warrant articles is just stupid. Not to insult anybody, but it is just dumb. Like, we just got out of a meeting talking about rooftop units on this building that's 20 years old that are failing, right? So you're confusing two issues, and Mike is 100% correct. To sit there and say that the board doesn't have a plan, we haven't published a plan. That doesn't mean we're not talking about it. And for you to say that we shouldn't wait for a new superintendent or our permanent superintendent to be engaged in that process is narrow-minded. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so we do have a meeting in January, but I'll contact everyone for another meeting coming up, say in a week or right after, maybe right after Christmas if possible. So, okay, thank you so much. Meeting adjourned.